Welcome to Vertical Cube, your guide to efficient warehousing.
Welcome. This is a safety orientation for new hires and beginners. Brought to you by Al-Ya Mama Warehouse Department. We are wishing that you will have an enjoyable journey until the end of this fruitful course. This video covers the following parts: course overview, safety introduction, safety information, emergency action plan, fire extinguishers, hazard communication, personal protective equipment or PPE, lockout tagout, safe lifting techniques, electrical safety, hearing conservation, ladder safety, safe driving, and then, the conclusion. Let's start the course with the introduction. Safety is a choice you make. We want you to work safely and think safety every day. Our safety goals and objectives are: 1. Keep yourself safe. 2. Keep others safe. 3. Learn from near misses to avoid accidents. But whose responsibility is safety? Safety is everyone's responsibility. Please fill in the missing words you see on your screen. Near misses lead to blank injuries. The injury analysis blank should always be filled in to blank future injuries. Here are the choices. Form, future, prevent, always. I will give you enough time to decipher the answers. The correct answers are: near misses lead to future injuries. The injury analysis form should always be filled in to prevent future injuries. Next, what should you do if you were injured? 1. Report the incident immediately. 2. Contact trained first aid providers if available. 3. Consult safety data sheet if exposed to spills or releases. Safety information. It is important to know where to get safety information. Whom and where to get safety information is of utmost importance as well. If I have a safety-related question, I should 1. Ask a supervisor. 2. Ask the safety committee. 3. Review bulletin boards and safety data sheets. 4. Pay attention to safety training. Is this statement true or false? Safety signs and tags warn you about hazards so you can work safely. This statement is true. Safety signs and tags are a means of preventing workplace accidents and injury. That's it. Congratulations. You've completed the third lesson. Emergency action plan. Learn about what to do in case of an emergency. You should be familiar with the emergency blank plan, so you will know what to do when there is one. The missing word is action. You should be familiar with the emergency action plan, so you will know what to do when there is one. Emergencies in the workplace. Remember your responsibility in emergency situations. If you discover a fire, alert others at risk, notify your manager, activate the alarm system, turn off involved equipment, evacuate immediately. If fire system sounds, turn off equipment, take the closest safe exit, go to the evacuation location or assembly point, stay with your group, do not re-enter the building on fire. If there is medical emergency, alert a manager, follow the procedure for fire alarm. When there is severe weather, turn off equipment, report to the evacuation location. If hazardous chemical spills, report to a manager, turn off any equipment, take the closest safe exit, go to the evacuation location or assembly point, stay with your group, do not re-enter the area with a chemical spill. If workplace violence is present, report concerns to a manager, remove yourself from the area, follow management directions. Now, let's do these exercises. We take the fear out of emergency situations by A. Following our training, B. Running very fast to get away. In the case of an emergency, you should follow our training. If you discover a fire, your first action should be A. To use a fire extinguisher, B. Alert others at risk. If you discover a fire, your first action should be to alert others of the risk. Is the following statement true or false? If a power failure occurs, you should stay away from machines because the equipment could restart unexpectedly. This statement is correct. Equipment can store energy, even if the power is off, they can start unexpectedly. What should you do in an emergency situation? A. Follow our training. B. Run very fast to get away. The best thing to do in an emergency situation is to follow our training. What is the first thing we should do if we discover a fire? A. Alert others at risk. B. Use a fire extinguisher. In the case of a fire, the first thing you should do is to alert others of the risk. What should you do if you become aware of another employee committing a violent act or threat? A. Immediately report the concern to your manager. B. Slack anyone or stop them. They might be having a bad day. If you become aware of another employee committing a violent act or threat, you should immediately report the concern to a manager. Do you feel more confident in your understanding of emergency action plans after completing this lesson? That's it. Nice work. You've completed the 4th lesson. Fire extinguishers. Let's talk about fire triangle. What is the fire triangle? Take away one of the components from the fire triangle to extinguish the fire. But what are the 3 components that feed fire? Yes, the 3 components that can create fire are oxygen, fuel, and heat. A fire extinguisher can be used if: check all answers that apply. A. The fire is small. B. The fire is slow growing. C. The fire is emitting a lot of heat. D. The fire is producing a lot of smoke. Please take note of these answers. Fire extinguishers are designed to fight fires in their early stages when a fire presents a relatively small hazard. And, if the fire is producing a lot of heat or smoke, you should evacuate immediately. To extinguish a fire, use the PASS method. The safety pin is usually held in place by a plastic seal, and will pull off. Do not push down on the operating lever while pulling the pin, it won't come out. Aim at the base of the fire, the lowest flame closest to you. The base of the fire will recede from you as you use the extinguisher, so you must adjust your aim. The operating lever is above the carrying handle. The operating lever opens the valve when you squeeze it down. When you let go, the valve closes and the discharge stops. Sweep the nozzle side to side. Direct the discharge to cover the entire width of the base of the fire. Let us test your retention. What does P stand for? A. Pull. B. Pick. The P stands for pull. Next, what does A stand for? A. Aim. B. Angle. C. Assist. Yes, A stands for aim. It is important to know the proper fire extinguisher, so that A. You can select the right extinguisher to fight a fire. B. To pass this test. It is important to know the proper fire extinguisher so that you can select the right extinguisher to fight a fire. Is the following statement true or false? You can use any fire extinguisher for all types of fire. A. True. B. False. This statement is incorrect. You should only use the right fire extinguisher for specified type of fire. Let us know your ABCs. Using the wrong fire extinguisher can result in more damage than the fire itself. All extinguishers have nameplates identifying their usage instructions, as outlined below. Only use A-class extinguishers for wood, paper, trash, and other items that produce glowing embers as they burn. This class of extinguisher should never be used on gas or electrical fires. Only use a Class B extinguishers to fight fires caused by flammable liquid and gas, for example, gasoline, paint thinners, solvents, grease and acetylene. Use a Class C extinguisher only to fight energized electrical equipment fires. There are also extinguishers known as Class ABC extinguishers, which can be used for all types of fires. That's it. Congratulations to you. You've completed this lesson about fire extinguishers. Hazard communication. You have the right to know. Think of your best guess to this question. How many million workers are potentially exposed to one or more chemical hazards? 16 million, 32 million, 48 million, or 64 million? If your answer is 32 million, you are correct. 32 million workers are potentially exposed to one or more chemical hazards. Safety data sheets. One important key to a hazard communication program is the safety data sheet. Safety data sheet, or SDS, contains information broken down into 16 different categories. This sheet tells you everything you need to know about a specific chemical, including the health hazards associated with the chemical, how flammable the product is, and at what temperature it may ignite, the reactivity of the chemical with water or other agents and how likely it is to explode, what personal protective equipment or PPE is needed to work with the chemical. GHS pictograms are used to alert you to dangers associated with chemicals. Can you match the descriptions to the correct pictograms? Here are the correct matches. Flammable, toxic, explosive, oxidizing. What does SDS stand for? A. Safety data sheets. B. Standard development system. The SDS stands for Safety Data Sheets. Choose the correct answer. A good safety practice is to read labels and the SDS before using the chemical. A. True. B. False. This statement is correct. You should always take precautions when using chemicals. Now, do you feel more confident in your understanding of hazard communication after completing this lesson? Well, that's it. Congratulations, you've completed this lesson. Now, we'll talk about personal protective equipment. Why should you wear PPE? Because if you don't wear PPE, this could be you. PPE best practices. Whose responsibility is it for PPE best practices? Selecting appropriate PPE. The employer. Ensuring PPE fits properly. Both the employer and the employee. Wear the PPE. Both the employer and the employee. Inspect PPE. The employer. Maintain PPE properly. Both the employer and the employee. Understand hazards and determine if PPE is needed. The employer. Types of PPE. Foot protection, also known as steel toe boots, safety toe boots, steel-capped boots, or safety shoes, is a must for all workers exposed to falling objects and puncture wounds from below. Most shoes will have symbols on the outside to illustrate the type of protection the footwear offers. Select shoes with the proper type of sole to prevent slips, trips, and falls. Hand and arm protection protects against amputation hazards and harmful materials. Depending on the work you do, you may need leather, canvas, metal mesh, fabric, coated fabric, chemical-resistant or liquid-resistant PPE. Helmets or head protection is required in areas with the danger of impact, falling or flying objects and electrical shock or burn. Be sure to select the proper size, and take good care of the equipment so it doesn't fail in the event of an accident. When there is a chance of physical, chemical or radiation damage to the eyes or face, you must wear appropriate PPE. Everyday glasses do not qualify and are no excuse for lack of proper protection. Request eye and face PPE that fits over spectacles. Respiratory protection is essential because without it, toxins may enter straight into the body. It is important for you to understand how to use this PPE properly and what its limitations are. Though it is often overlooked, hearing protection is crucial in preventing permanent damage. Remember that plain cotton is not an acceptable form of ear protection. Is the following statement true or false? PPE is considered the last line of defense against injury. A. True. B. False. This statement is correct. PPE is designed to protect you from workplace hazards. Questions regarding PPE should be directed to your supervisor. A. True. B. False. Definitely, if you have a question about PPE, you should ask your supervisor. PPE should be inspected. A. Every day. B. Annually. You have a responsibility to make sure your PPE is in good working order every day. That's it. Congratulations, you've completed another lesson. Lockout, tagout. Two types of workers are involved in lockout, tagout or LOTO procedures. Authorized employees. An authorized employee is trained and authorized to perform work requiring the identification and control of energy sources, usually service, maintenance or construction related. Affected employees. An affected employee is not authorized to perform LOTO, but works in an area where locked, tagged and energy-controlled devices are present. For authorized employees, always be sure to secure energy control devices with your own individually assigned lock keys. If you install a lock, make sure you are the one who removes it. The locks you install must be clearly labeled with durable tags that identify them as your locks. Never loan or share your lock, combination or key with anyone else. If your shift ends and work is not complete, make sure new shift workers apply their own locks before you remove yours. Ensure that all energy is completely dissipated prior to working on any equipment. Prior to starting work on the machine, do not forget to test the machine or system to ensure that there is no energy left to hurt you. For affected employees, make sure you stay away from danger points while systems are energized. Participate in all LOTO training programs offered by your employer. Never attempt LOTO procedures unless you have been trained and certified by your employer under an approved energy control program. Can you tell if this statement is correct or not? Lockout-tagout is a procedure that keeps energy controls in an off or safe position during maintenance and service assignments. A. True. B. False. This statement is correct. Lockout-tagout is a procedure that keeps energy controls in an off or safe position during maintenance and service assignments. When multiple employees are working on a project, it is okay to use one lock. A. True. B. False. This statement is false. When multiple employees are working on a project, each must apply their own lock. An energy source that causes many accidents because it is not obvious is A. Stored energy. B. Affected energy. C. High energy. Remember, even when a machine is turned off, stored energy can cause injury. An employee who is allowed to lock and tag equipment is called an A. Authorized employee. B. Affected employee. An employee who is allowed to lock and tag equipment is called authorized employee, only they can place or remove a lock and a tag. There you go. Congratulations for completing this lesson on LOTO, lockout, tagout. We are now on to safe lifting techniques. As a general rule, lift with your legs, not your back. Safe lifting techniques. 33% of all work compensation dollars are spent on back injuries. That accounts for 1/2 of all lost time claims. They could result in permanent impairment. Risk of back injury. Lifting incorrectly will take a toll on your back. What percentage of all work compensation dollars are spent on back injuries? 33%, 66%, or 99%? A back injury is a difficult recovery. Protect your back by following safe lifting techniques. That's correct. 33% of our claims dollars are spent on back injuries. Back injuries account for what percentage of all lost time claims? A. 25, B. 50, C. 75, D. 100. Right. Back injuries account for 50% of all lost time claims. Follow these steps when lifting. Keep close to body, push up with legs, use forearms and thighs to rest load, get help, if needed, keep it tucked in, pivot with your feet, not your back. What is the correct answer? Pain is good for you. It builds strength of character. A. True. B. False. Back pain bothers. Back pain is the top reason employees miss work. A. True. B. False. Back pain claims account for 1/2 of all lost time days. Now, do you feel more confident in your understanding of safe lifting techniques after completing this lesson? That's it. Congratulations. You've completed the lesson on safe lifting techniques. Moving on to electrical safety. Electricity delivers a knockout punch. Let us learn some key definitions. 1. De-energized. It means free from any electrical connection to a source of potential difference and from the electrical charge. 2. Energized. It means electrically connected to a source of potential difference. 3. Insulated. It means separated from other conducting surfaces by a dielectric, including airspace, offering a high resistance to the passage of current. 4. Qualified person. It means one who has received training in and has demonstrated skills and knowledge in the construction and operation of electric equipment and installations and the hazards involved. What do you think is the missing word here? Live parts which are above blank volts need to be de-energized before you work on or near them. A. 120. B. 50. Correct. Live parts that operate less than 50 volts to ground do not need to be de-energized if there will be no increased exposure to electrical burns or to an explosion due to electric arcs. Here are the steps to de-energize parts. Please look at the image shown carefully. Question. When equipment is de-energized, anyone can re-energize the equipment. A. True. B. False. The correct answer is B. When equipment is de-energized, only a qualified person can re-energize the equipment. General housekeeping duties cannot be performed around energized parts unless A. Safeguards are provided to prevent accidental contact. B. Workers are careful. C. A manager is present. General housekeeping duties cannot be performed around energized parts unless the correct answer is safeguards are provided to prevent accidental contact. Workers need to be careful, but that is not enough. Safeguards must always be put in place. Congratulations, you've completed the lesson on electrical safety. Let us proceed to hearing conservation. Hearing protection is a sound investment. The leading cause of hearing loss is prolonged exposure to loud noise. Take note of the following. Spoken conversation is 60 decibels. Heavy traffic is 85 decibels. Fireworks are 140 decibels. A chainsaw is 110 decibels. If your job regularly exposes you to 85 decibels or greater, you must receive an annual audiogram. You must receive annual training. You must wear hearing protection. You must have access to the OSHA standard. When someone loses their hearing due to noise exposure, it is called noise-induced hearing loss. Is this true or false? It is true. When someone loses hearing due to noise exposure, it is called noise-induced hearing loss. Complete the statement. Noise-induced hearing loss is A. Easily treated or repaired with medical treatment. B. Almost impossible to treat or repair. The answer is B. Noise-induced hearing loss is almost impossible to treat or cure. Hearing protection is required in our facility when noise exposure is at or greater than A. 60 dBA, B. 80 dBA or C. 100 dBA. Hearing protection is required in our facility when noise exposure is at or greater than 85 dBA. Hearing protection must be worn A. Only at work, B. At work and at home when you are exposed to noise. Hearing loss can occur anywhere. So, the answer is B. You must follow safe practices and wear hearing protection at work and at home, when you are exposed to noise. Hey, do you feel more confident in your understanding of hearing conservation after completing this lesson? That's your lesson on hearing conservation. Welcome to Ladder Safety Lesson. Don't risk a fall, use ladders properly. Extension ladders should have the following minimum overlap between sections. Ladder of up to 36 feet equals 3 feet overlap. Ladder between 36 feet and 48 feet equals 4 feet overlap. Ladder over 48 feet equals 5 feet overlap. Use caution. Weight. Make sure the weight that your ladder is supporting does not exceed its maximum load rating, user plus materials. Also, only one person should be on a ladder at a time. Body centered. Keep your body centered between the rails of the ladder at all times. Do not lean too far to the side while working. Never overreach, instead, descend from the ladder and move it to a better position. Top step. Do not step on the top step or bucket shelf, and do not attempt to climb or stand on the rear section of a stepladder. Face the ladder. Always face the ladder when climbing up or down. Never leave a raised ladder unattended. Non-slip footwear. Non-slip footwear should be worn at all times when on a ladder. Is this true or false? A ladder with a 20-foot high top support should be 5 feet away from the base you are climbing. A. True. B. False. Yes, a ladder with a 20-foot high top support should be 5 feet away from the base you are climbing. Before you use a ladder for a job, what should you check on the ladder? A. Length of the ladder. B. Duty rating of the ladder. C. Loose or damaged steps, rungs, spreaders, rung dogs and safety feet. D. All of the above. The answer is D. All of the above. It is important that you check the length, the duty rating and the shape of the ladder before you begin work. Great! You're getting closer to the end of the course. This lesson is about driver safety for company and personal vehicles. Let me give you statistics about road accidents. Please take note of this important information. 64% of all road accidents in the United States are caused by distracted drivers. Each year, over 330,000 accidents caused by texting while driving lead to severe injuries. Texting and driving are 6 times more likely to get you into an accident than drunk driving. 1 out of every 4 car accidents is caused by texting while driving. Every day, 11 teenagers die because they were texting while driving. Fill in the missing word in place of the blank. If you text and drive, you are blank times more likely than a drunk driver to get into an accident. A. 6 times. B. 2 times. Circa 4 times. D. 8 times. That's right. If you text and drive, you are 6 times more likely than a drunk driver to get into an accident. What percentage of accidents are caused by texting while driving? A. 75%. B. 25%. C. 50%. D. 100%. Letter B. 25% of accidents are caused by texting while driving. Reading a text message while driving successfully distracts a driver for a minimum of 5 seconds each time. How many teenagers die each day because they were texting while driving? A. 3. B. 11. C. 1. D. 7. The answer is 11 teenagers die each day because they were texting while driving. Driving any distance, especially long distances, requires you to be physically and mentally well rested. Fatigue plays a major role in motor vehicle accidents. If you become drowsy, pull off the road immediately and take a short nap. Before you begin driving, make sure to inspect the lights, tires, brakes, and windshield wipers of your vehicle. Obtain any necessary repairs before you depart. Provide yourself with ample travel time so you can avoid speeding. Be aware of construction zones, rush hour congestion, and changing weather conditions when you are planning your route. Maintain safe following distances. Braking might be difficult in poor weather. Always wear your seat belt and turn on your headlights. Alcohol is one of the greatest contributing factors in a fatal motor vehicle accident. In addition, some prescription medications may have the same effect as alcohol. Do not drink alcoholic beverages before or during a driving trip and consult your doctor about possible side effects of any medications you may be taking. Driving records. Your driving record has a big impact on whether you can drive a company vehicle. Driving your personal car. Let's test your understanding. Tickets in your personal car will impact your ability to drive a company vehicle. A. True. B. False. Tickets in your personal car will definitely impact your ability to drive a company vehicle. Also, if you get a ticket in a company vehicle, it could impact your personal car rates. Getting a ticket is costly. Are you now confident in your understanding of safe driving after listening to this lesson? Well, you've done a great job. Congratulations on completing this course. You will be directed to the conclusion part. Please stay for a while. Before we move on to the end, if you are liking this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Thank you. You have come to the conclusion portion of the employee safety orientation for new hires and beginners. Remember, work safely and think safety every day. Safety is the responsibility of 1. Management. Management support is important as we set the policy and procedures. 2. Employees. This is where the rubber hits the road. Safety is a conscious decision you make every day when you roll out of bed. Do you agree to support our safety efforts by making positive contributions to our safety culture? A. Yes. B. No. I hope your answer is in the affirmative. We will have ongoing safety training, but it is important that you understand your safety requirements. Do you need clarification on anything discussed in this training program? Yes or no? If yes, you need clarification. You may approach any of our safety officers, or OPEX leaders of the warehouse where you work. Or if there is any idea on how to improve this lesson, feel free to contact us. So, this is it. Thank you for watching and completing all the lessons. Please support this channel by typing your comment below, hitting the like icon, subscribing to our channel, and pressing the bell button. See you in our next video on warehousing and workplace English lessons.